Good morning, class. Today we will be studying the tools of measurement used in the scientific method, starting with the ruler. As you see, the ruler has two sides, the standard unit of measurement, which are the inches, and the metric unit side, which is measured in centimeters. Let me get that correctly. There it goes. Okay. Now, in science, we generally use the metric side for measurement. You always, when using the metric side, start at the 0 mark. Make sure you are not starting at the end of the unit. Otherwise, you will not have an accurate measurement. Each long line equals 1 centimeter. The smaller tick marks are millimeters, represented by one place value after the decimal. Now, if you notice here, if I start at the 0 tick mark, this mark is exactly 1 centimeter long. Now we move down here, starting at the 0 tick mark, we are not at exactly 4 centimeters. So we need to count the millimeter marks to find out our exact measurement. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, giving us 4.5 centimeters. Let's try that one more time. Okay, down here, we're going to start at the 0 tick mark. And we are not at exactly 11 centimeters, so we need to count the millimeters again. 1, 2. So we would write as 11.2 centimeters. Welcome to another edition of Chatterton Helping Hands. Today we'll be studying the tools of measurement used in the scientific method, starting with the ruler. As you see, a ruler has two sides. The standard side, which is used which measures inches, and the metric side, which measures in centimeters. Now, in science, we usually use the metric side for measurement. We will start with our first line to show you how to use it. Okay, when using the metric side of the ruler, always start with the 0 tick mark instead of the end of the ruler. If you use the end of the ruler, you will not have an accurate measurement. So, starting at the 0 tick mark, you follow it to where it ends, which happens to be, in this case, exactly 1 centimeter. Okay, so that was a very easy measurement. Now let's try again. Once in a while, it is not exactly at the centimeter mark, so you'll have to use the smaller marks. The smaller dash marks are millimeters, represented by one place value after the decimal. Okay, so we line it up at the 0 tick mark, follow along. It's not exactly 4 centimeters, so we need to count how many millimeters there are afterwards. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we would write it as 4.5 centimeters. Let's try one more time. Okay, now this line, if we line it up at the 0 tick mark, is not exactly 11, oops, let me line that up correctly, is not exactly 11 centimeters. So we need to count how many tick marks there are after 11. 1, 2. So we will write it as 11.2 centimeters. Welcome to Helping Hands at Chatterton. This edition will be focusing on how to use the ruler. The ruler, as you see, has two sides. It has the standard side, which is measured in inches, and the metric side measured in centimeters. In science, we generally use the metric side for measurement. Now, how to use the ruler? Well, when using the ruler, always start at the 0 tick mark. If you accidentally start at the beginning of the ruler, you will have an incorrect measurement. So make sure you always line your ruler up exactly at the 0 tick mark and measure from there. Now, if we see here, our line ends at the 1 centimeter mark. So in this case, we would write 1 centimeter. Now that is not always going to be the case where we have exactly 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters. Sometimes it is going to be in between centimeters. So in this case, when we line up at the 0 tick mark, we measure to the nearest centimeter, which happens to be 4, and we count the smaller tick marks afterwards. The smaller tick marks are millimeters. When writing them, you represent them as one place value after the decimal. Okay, so line it up correctly. Now let's count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll write it as 4.5 centimeters because we went to 4 centimeters and it had 5 millimeters afterwards. Let's try that one more time. Okay, down here we have a longer line, which is not exactly 11 centimeters if we line it up correctly. Okay, I'm lined up at the 0 tick mark. I have 11 centimeters, but it's a little past it, so I'm going to count the smaller dash marks. 1, 2. So I'm going to write it as 11.2 centimeters.